So the news is out. The new Patek Philippe models have been released. And you know, I honestly didn't even expect this to happen. All of a sudden you wake up in the morning, bam, just right there in your face, you have the new models. But let's get directly into this and let's start with the new 5712 all rose. Crazy part about it is that the 5712 has been out in rose gold for already quite some time, but it's been available on a leather strap. And you know, I do believe that one time Nico over at Pride and Pinion did show me a very, very rare factory 5712R with the gold bracelet. At that time, I thought to myself, man, that watch really looks nice. The only difference is from what I see with this release is that the dials are possibly different. At least what we see now on the pictures on their website, the dial seems to be a lot more brighter, more like a rosy color, whereas the previous 5712 on a leather strap had more of that darker dial. But this is something that I'm surprised took that long to happen. I'm wondering why, with so much success of the 5712 steel with the blue dial, did it take this long for them to come out with it in all rose? But with that also being said, we're kind of glad that they did. With the current situation in the watch market where, you know, things have been kind of maybe a little bit overly hyped or overly played or manipulated as far as the dial combinations and all the different styles. I mean, sometimes something simple like that kind of just makes you feel good inside, you know? I really like the watch and I like the idea. I'm glad they didn't do some just drastic, ridiculous change. I feel that the 5712 was a model that they could have milked a little bit further more. And now in rose gold with that rose dial, because it looks kind of rosy, doesn't look too chocolatey, the dial. I think that was a great touch by them. And the real question is gonna be, how much is it gonna cost? Which we don't know yet. I already got a phone call walking over here right now just to do this video. And some guy said, hey, what's up? What's up with that new 5712? What do you think? Can you get one? And it's like, well, it just got released today. So we'll have to wait and see what is the Ninja Warrior challenge that you have to do to get one of these at retail. So next up is the 5990 stainless steel with the blue dial. That was kind of expected, considering that we no longer have a 5980 in steel and that we have a 5990 rose blue dial. So it was kind of expected. I mean, the only thing that I'm not absolutely crazy about is that dial. I mean, they say it's blue, but it kind of looks gray black. I don't know, you know. It's kind of hard because when they first release these watches, you kind of have to get the watch and see it in hand. That's when you can really see the true color of it and appreciate it. Right now, what we're kind of seeing is just mock-ups. Even the photos that are on the brand websites at times are almost a form of mock-ups in a way. They almost look like digital examples of the watch. So the main thing that I want to really see is, what is that exact color? Because I tell you what, the blue dial that's on the 5990 rose, that would have been amazing. Think about how stunning the 5976 looks with that white metal and that strong blue hue in the dial. Or the 5740. I mean, I think that blue on the 5990 would have been for sure a sure shot. We'll have to wait and see, and that's the problem. That's one of the things that's itching me. When I initially saw it, I thought to myself, did they re-release the 5990 again? But then the reports say blue dial. I kind of had to like really strain my eyes and see some blue in there, because I, at least, didn't really see a lot of things. One of the things that I'm not crazy about with the 5990, the new one, for example, is the new clasp. They kind of, Patek updated their clasp all through the board, and they did a deploying clasp, which I guess on one hand is good, but I personally find that it's more comfortable, the traditional fold over with the snap clasp on top. I just think it was so much more comfortable, thinner profile off the bottom of the wrist, and a lot more secure. Yes, the other one's nice, you hit the two buttons, it opens up, but I kind of did like the finish of the previous clasp with that little safety lock on top. I just think that was a perfect clasp, but I get it. They're always evolving and they always want to introduce something else that's new. So before we continue all the stuff that I think so far is kind of good. Let's get into something that maybe perhaps for me is a bit, I'm questioning it. They came out with the new 5811, okay? That is the new version of the 5711, which hence the 8 instead of the 7. The only thing is that it's a 41 millimeter and it's in white gold. Now, I'm not sure what the plan is for this watch, if this is gonna be the new lineup for that model. I mean, it's a traditional look, blue dial, white metal material. You know, that obviously is a winning combination. But I guess the real question that I have is I'm dying to see what it's gonna look like on the wrist with that bigger case. Because I am an advocate that says that the Nautilus in 40 millimeter is the perfect size watch. I think it is the best oversized watch, period. The only thing that happens is that sometimes when watches are too thin, a little bit of millimeter will help the case feel a little bit larger. For example, the 5167 versus the 5168, even though they are completely, you know, a bit more difference in size because the 5168 is a lot bigger than the 5167. Although there is a much greater difference in size because the 5168 is a lot bigger than the 5167. Because those watches have such a thin profile, that 5168 fits really nice on the wrist. See, that's the thing. Sometimes when watches are smaller but taller, they tend to fit and wear bigger. Now, the worst combination, in my opinion, is when you have tall and larger in diameter. Then it kind of really gets into that large watch range. But I'm very curious to see exactly what did they do with this new 5811. How is it gonna fit on the wrist? And did they do a good size, or did they do sort of a disservice to the Nautilus? For example, the 5976, when it was released, the 40th anniversary, in that larger case, at the moment I thought, man, that's gonna be awesome. Then I wore it, I find it too big. So I'm really, really wondering how this is gonna play out, and I can't wait. So the next one I wanna talk about is the 5935A. I love this combination. That salmon dial with that light camel beige color strap, I think that was a win. That is something that was necessary, and I love that watch. I think that was honestly one of my favorite releases out of this whole lineup. It was just something that was unexpected and was a very nice play. Patek has a really nice tone on their salmon dials. I feel that possibly I like them way more than the salmon colors of the AP. Not that I don't like the AP ones, but you know, if we're gonna choose, this 5935 is a hit. With it being stainless steel, it's gonna be a really nice watch to wear daily to the office or use it very often. I love the idea, I can't say it enough times. Next up is also one of my favorite ones, which is the 5373P. This is a Grand Comp mono pusher, split seconds, and yes, the crown is on the other side. It's crazy, when they come out with the lefty sprite, it kind of like mind boggles you and you don't like it. Of course, holy shit, look at that Porsche. That's what I'm talking about, straight race car on the street. Damn it. Whew, my God, it rattled me for a second there. He was way too quiet. He needed to rev that a lot higher. So that's a watch that's actually a mono pusher split second. And as I was saying, you come out with a lefty sprite and it like blows everybody's mind, of course, because, you know, the sports models from Rolex, like the GMT, have the Cyclops, the crown guards, all these little things that kind of burn into your brain with the orientation. This one, I don't know why, but it looks amazing. Not to mention that combination of the black with the red. Love this watch. This is a very nice looking piece, and I can't wait to see one in person. Next up is the 5204G in green. I mean, this one is nice. Nobody can look at this watch and not say they like it, but it's just kind of, I don't know, I guess expected. You know, they just put a green dial. This is a split second mono pusher chrono, which is amazing. Just like the previous one button right where the standard winding crown is. And then it's also got a perpetual calendar. Love the watch. It's gonna be a great seller. It's gonna be a hit. But I guess this one was just not as exciting. As much as I do like it, not as exciting as the previous one. The last one's gonna be the 7968 Aquanaut, or I guess Patek has a rainbow now. You know, this is when you realize how certain watch trends catch on, and even brands like Patek wanna capitalize on it. It almost seems like every single brand under the sun has a rainbow watch right now. And honestly, I probably would have never thought that Patek would do something like this, but here they did. This watch is gonna be predominantly maybe for women or men because it's a 39.9 millimeters. I mean, might as well just round it off and call it a 40. Now, one of the things that I do like about the watch is it does not bother me that it has two rows on the bezel, one with white diamonds and the outside with rainbow. I did like that, and I think it's kind of innovating. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this watch is I'm not sure about that red strap. I felt like it was a bit polarizing with the gold and that red strap. But the one thing that I would say is that it might have been a little bit more pop and more contrast had the dial been a different color, like maybe black or something of that nature. And it's pretty crazy to believe that right now at this moment, Patek Philippe has a rainbow option. I also wonder what took them so long. I think at this point, it's one of those pieces we could have done without. I'm sure it will be a fan for many, and people are gonna love it, and it will sell, and it's gonna be super expensive. But those are the couple little things that I'm not sure about. The red strap, which just can be changed hopefully, and the dial, not sure about that. Look how nice the black background on the rose rainbow looks. It kind of gives it that contrast, so that way those markers all the way around pop. But we'll have to wait and see. You know, it wouldn't surprise me because in the past already we've noticed that Patek has done a couple things that has broken out of their mold to kind of give the public what they want. And maybe perhaps this rainbow is what they need. So overall, of all the releases, these are the ones that I like the best and what I consider the highlights. I think these are the watches that actually made enough noise that caused me to say, let's talk about these things. I can't wait to see that 5712 in my hands, and I'm really wondering, is the blue on the 5990 really blue? But feel free to comment below what you think about these latest releases from the brand Patek Philippe. And if you like this video, like and share it. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna go find that Porsche.